What's up guys, welcome to another episode of Flux Fridays, a series where I show you a new flux farming method every single week. Today we're going to be talking about a flux farming method that is based on a comment that I received in one of my previous Flux Fridays episodes. The topic of today's video is crafting and selling uncommon loot on the marketplace. The comment specifically mentioned mag racers, but I'll be covering this topic in a more general way to assist you all in finding your own item to craft and sell in the market. To start things off, I want to mention a very important disclaimer, one that I've talked about on a few other of my videos. When selling things on the market, always be sure to not undervalue your items too much. If you undercut the cheapest item on the market by too much, you'll probably end up crashing the market for that specific item. As such, it's important that you list your items for a reasonable price to ensure that you don't crash the market and ruin the farming method for everyone else. With that being said, it's time to talk about the actual farming method. Throughout Trove, there are various crafting benches, many of which are hidden or simply rarely used by most players. The first crafting bench that I wanted to point out is the Nautical Assembler in the Drowned or Igneous Adventure worlds. This crafting bench tends to be a gold mine for easy flux, hence why there are a bunch of YouTube videos already about people using this crafting bench to get rich. The way people make their flux through these crafting benches is by looking at the craftable items, checking the materials that are required, then calculating if they could profit off selling the fully crafted item. A cheap yet prime example of this from the Nautical Assembler is the Bounding Boot Ally. The Bounding Boot Ally requires 1 old boot, 1 golden soul, and 50 glim. These items all can collectively be bought for under 1,000 flux total on the market, or can be farmed up insanely easily. Despite only costing around 500 to 1,000 flux in materials, the Ally sells for around 5,000 flux, and is fairly uncommon to even find on the marketplace. At the time of recording this, there's only 1 Bounding Boot on the marketplace listed for 4,999 flux. If I were to craft a boot right now, I'd be making around 4,000 flux profit for every single boot that I sell. This boot in particular isn't the best way to make flux, but it is a perfect example of the point I'm trying to prove about these random craftable items. There's so many more hidden gems that can be crafted for easy profits with minimal effort. Another item from the same workbench that you can get some solid profits off of is the old Blocksides ship. This ship's materials currently cost around 120,000 to 130,000 flux to buy if you don't already have them. The ship itself, however, currently sells for around 200,000 flux. All I have to do to potentially make around 70,000 to 80,000 flux is simply buy the materials, craft the ship, list it on the marketplace, and wait a day or two for it to sell. One key tip that I want to point out is that these types of items are harder to sell if you sell them in bulk. In other words, it typically isn't a good idea to craft 10 ships and sell them all at the same time. Back when I used to regularly farm for flux using this method, I pick a few different profitable items, craft 2 to 3 of each item, and list them on the marketplace one at a time. This ensures that you don't flood the market and prevents you from getting stuck with 10 of a single item that you have no use for. All in all, the point of this video is to showcase that you can find craftable items that are worth more than the materials used to craft them. Feel free to use the boot or boat that I mentioned in this video. However, I highly recommend that you explore some of your other options that I haven't directly mentioned in this video. Before I end the video, however, I wanted to point out a few other crafting benches that you might want to take a look at, similar to the Nautical Assembler that I talked about earlier. I won't be talking about specific items from each workbench out of fear that I'll ruin their market prices, so in the end, it's up to you guys to search through these to find out what's good to craft and sell for profit, based on the tips that I provided earlier. The first other crafting bench is the Adventurer's crafting bench, which can be crafted at the Novice crafting bench in the north part of the hub. The second and third crafting benches are the Shadowy Station and Turkeytopia table, which can be found at the northwest side of the hub world. And lastly, the Soar T2 crafting bench, which can be found inside the bottom of Radiant Ruins dungeons that have green glass. Each of these crafting benches has items that can be crafted and sold for a profit, just like the items that I mentioned from the Nautical Assembler earlier. That's it for this video. Hope this video helps you guys out. If you learned something new, be sure to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions or suggestions for future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.